From a young age, we're usually told that being alone is sad, or make the most of your 20s because now it's going to be like the most social time you will ever have. Make the most of your teens. And I'm here to challenge that and tell you the importance of your alone time, especially when you're young. If you're someone who may be quite introverted, or you're just curious as to what it feels like to actually enjoy being alone, and you're sick of people telling you to make the most of your social life, then this video is going to resonate. The stronger the foundation that we build in our younger years, the even better our later years will become. Start believing that. If we don't start building these strong foundations now, then our later years simply aren't going to be as good, aren't going to be as successful, and I'm a true believer in that. The years that we're living now are literally only going to contribute to the quality of our years later in life. So let me explain why and how you should prioritize your alone time in your 20s. Society is telling us that it's sad, and there's a reason why they're telling us that it's sad to spend time alone, because community is so important, and we all know that community, having friends and socializing, having social skills is really important when it comes to building a family, making income, overall living a happy life. But what's even more important for happiness is being alone and being happy. Being alone and being content. Because when we're alone and content and happy, then when we're with people, that's only going to contribute to how happy we are. If we already have those strong foundations of being alone and being happy, then the people who come into our life are only going to contribute to that happiness. And when things fall apart around us, but we're left with ourselves, but we still feel content, we still feel happy, we still feel joy, then how strong are we then? We are very, very strong if we have that happiness within ourselves and we're not looking for it externally. So this is why the more time that you spend alone and the more effort that you put into becoming content and becoming happy with your alone time, the stronger you are going to be. Because at the end of the day, who else do we have but ourselves? I'm a huge believer in this. I surround myself with, I spend time with friends, I spend time with family, I do socialize. But at the end of the day, we only have ourselves, who is making us happy and who is making us sad. So the more time that we spend alone, we can really get to know ourselves even more and get to know how we make ourselves happy and how we make ourselves sad. So many of us, especially when we're young, we don't know ourselves like at all. And I don't think we will ever completely know ourselves. But if we can try and get to know ourselves like as life goes on, then I think we're only going to contribute to our happiness even further. Okay, when it comes to dating and friendships, the more you know yourself, the better quality those relationships are going to be. When we're young, we spend so much time with people who don't contribute to our life. I know that sounds bad, but it's very, very true, because we're pushed into these friendship groups, we're pushed into these relationships, and we don't know ourselves. So how are we supposed to know the people who we enjoy spending time with? But as we grow older and as we start to get to know ourselves a bit more, then we start to pick and choose who we're spending our time with, because we also start to learn how valuable our time really is. The older we get, the more careful we are with our time. So when we're young, we're spending time with all these people who don't contribute to our life, who don't contribute to our happiness, and again, just waste time. Whereas if we spent some of that time alone, maybe we would gain more from it. So if we can be more intentional with who we are spending our time with, how much better would that be? And the only way that we can be intentional with who we're spending our time with is to spend more time with ourselves first. Because when we spend more time with ourselves first, then we're going to really know. Then we're going to really get to know who we want to spend time with, as I said, why we want to spend time with them, and we're going to want to make the most of our time because we understand how valuable our time is. So spending time with yourself is going to allow you to make the most of the time that you spend with other people. Okay, so a way that you can start prioritizing your alone time is by dating yourself. We have all heard, especially as women, I think we've all heard this conception of like dating yourself, taking yourself out on dates, and it's so true, because when you do start to date yourself and take yourself out places, take yourself out on dates, it's the perfect way to get to know yourself even further. And it's actually a great way to get out of your comfort zone as well, because it can feel very uncomfortable taking yourself out for a nice meal, going to a cafe, going for a walk even on your own can feel so uncomfortable. So when we get used to that feeling of being alone and doing these tasks that we usually use with other people, that we would usually do with other people, when we do those alone, we become so much stronger, like mentally stronger, and then we start to enjoy doing those things alone. So definitely date yourself. This is very good advice that I see a lot of, and there's not a lot of advice that you see a lot of, which is actually good, but dating yourself is one of those advices that I really believe is so good for your personal development. And the end goal in life is to be happy. The goal in life is to be happy and find happiness every single day. So if we can be happy and find happiness in being alone, how much more fulfilled are we going to feel? How much better are we going to feel if we stop relying on external things for our happiness? If we stop relying on external validation? If we stop relying on spending time with that friend, going to the gym with that friend? If they're not there to go to the gym with, and we're left feeling sad and alone, then it's very unlikely that we're going to get to that goal of feeling happy, because we're constantly relying on other people to give us that happiness. Now, I do a lot of things on my own. I moved country completely on my own, and I rent here in Sweden with strangers who I don't really know, and I spend a lot of the time on my own. And I can tell you now that it's made me so much happier. It sounds ridiculous. I have a great group. I have some great friends who I'm really close with, and I really value them so much. But when I'm alone, I feel happy and I feel content. And that's one of the best things that could have ever happened to me in this whole year, because I remember just a few years back, if something external would upset me, then I would look to my boyfriend, for example, to make me happy. Oh, this happened to me and I feel really sad. And if he couldn't then make me happy, which obviously he never could, because you should never rely on an external thing to make you happy, then I would get annoyed with him. And then I would think, actually, he doesn't make me happy. And then this is really problematic now. Now we're in a problematic situation where you think that that person should make you happy, but they can't, because the only person who can make you happy is you. They can contribute to that. They can tell you nice things, but overall, your true happiness is going to come from within. Your true sadness is going to come from within. It's the way you react to things. So if then he complimented me and then I felt happy, oh great. But am I truly happy, or am I just happy in that moment for a short period of time? Yes. I hope you like this video. I honestly think being alone is very underrated, and we're told that we shouldn't be alone. We have to find the balance of being alone with ourselves and being content with that, but also socializing and building on our social skills, because this is also really important. And obviously in society today, I think a lot of young people maybe don't know how to socialize in the best way possible, but we also don't know how to be alone in the best way possible. So hopefully I'm going to help you do both of those things, because as a young person, it's really important that we have both of those skills. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video and hope to see you in the next one. Have a beautiful day, week, month, life. Bye!